everybody, I'm Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so happy to have you here today. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a faux embroidered look with this trendy black on black design. But if you don't have an embroidery machine, that's totally okay because we're going to use Puff HTV. Now I'll link everything that I'm using in this video down below to help you make your own. And I'm going to show you all the steps from designing the text all the way to cutting, weeding, and pressing your puff so that you make sure that your Siser puff comes out perfect. Now I am using Siser, and you want to keep in mind whatever puff you are using may have some different directions. So you always want to check the directions of your puff. Puff should never look like brains or noodles. It should be a fairly smooth surface and be just a little bit puffy above your fabric. Now, without further ado, let's get started. But before we do, be sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. That way you don't miss out on any of the fun, crafty content we have coming. We're going to make a really fun design here in Cricut Design Space, and it's so simple to do. And I'm going to show you a great trick for choosing fonts because sometimes it can be kind of a pain. So before I do anything here in Cricut Design Space, let's actually go to one of my favorite websites. Wordmark.it is a great free hack that you can use to help you choose fonts for whatever you may want to make. For the shirt, I wanted to say Little Ray of Pitch Black. So I'm just going to type that in. If I could spell, we'd be doing great. And all you have to do is hit the arrow. And then what it will do is bring up all of the fonts that you have on your computer. This is a really, really great thing to use. Now, you'll notice here at the top, it says a better way to detect your fonts. Chrome can show your fonts without the extension. So just like allowing your browser to access your camera, you can allow it to access your fonts. I have used this website for many years. It is safe. So I'm going to go ahead and allow Chrome to show it all of my fonts. Now, I do have the extension as well, so it would show my fonts regardless. But what I love about this is that I can compare the fonts to see which ones that I like best. Now, I do want this to be kind of a little bit more on the plain side because I want to use a puff font, or a puff vinyl. So I don't want to use anything that's really loopy or tiny with little details. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through, and if I see a font that I like, I'm just going to click on it. You'll see here that it gets a little blue box around it. And when we get to the bottom, we can click this filter selected fonts and compare the fonts to see which one we want to use. So I'm just going to kind of scroll through. Again, I'm choosing very simple fonts. I'm not choosing anything crazy. Like this would be cute and all, but I don't think would work great with using a puff design. When you're using puff vinyl, you need to make sure that you have a little bit of extra space because it puffs. So you don't want anything that sits too close to each other, and you don't want anything that's too skinny because you'll lose a lot of your definition. So I'm just going to go through, scroll, find all the fonts that I like. And then once we do that, I'll show you how to filter them. Now, once I've gone through all my fonts, I click filter selected fonts, and you'll see that it brings up all the fonts that I kind of chose. I chose quite a few for this one, so I am going to make them a little bit smaller just so I can see more of them on the screen. Now, the thing is, I know there's a couple that are just really not quite going to work as well as I would like them to, and I put them on here so that I could show you what I mean. So for example, this Constantine Bold, I guess, this one has these little divots and these little spots coming off of the letters, which is all well and good for like a normal design. But for puff, it's really going to kind of muddle the look of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. Now, I think most of the other ones will look okay. I'm just going to kind of base it on the look of the A and the Y and if I like it. So I just don't like this U Gothic, whatever it is. Not really it. And I also don't like the agency. That's a little blah for me. Same with Arial Bold. A classic, but not really what I'm going for. This one also has those little edges, so I'm going to get rid of that. I want something a little more like plain and a little less fun. So like this Little Ray, that one's got to go. Pink Vibes is cute, but it's too cutesy. I want this to be a little more like plain. So I think honestly, this Little Ray of Pitch Black right here, this Rockwell Condensed Bold, I think is the way I'm going to go. So I can go back to Design Space and simply choose that font. When we get into Design Space, you're going to go to your text and you can type in what you want it to say. So I wanted it to say Little Ray of, and then I think I want Pitch Black to be its own line. We'll kind of play around with it and see what we think. Now remember, we chose that Rockwell. I'm going to use my system and I'm just going to search for the word rock and it should bring up Rockwell. Now there's regular Rockwell, but then there's Rockwell Extra Bold. So you can kind of choose between the two, but I think because we're going to be using the puff, I want to use the Rockwell. Now, I will say, I feel like some of the letters are going to be a little close together, so I can use letter spacing to space them out a little bit if I want to. If you want to find your letter spacing, you're going to go to Edit, and you'll see that your letter spacing should be under all of these more tools somewhere, and it's right here under Font Tools. And you can see if you want them to go a little bit further apart, you're going to click the up arrow. Now, I do want them to be spread out a little bit, and I actually kind of want to see what this would look like if I had it in all caps. So I'm going to actually duplicate this just so I can compare them. And I'm going to just retype this out as a full capital letter and just see if I prefer the look of that, which I kind of do. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one because I want to use this full capitalization. Now I do want my lines to be a little closer together. So I'm going to use my line spacing, which is right here on the bottom. And I'm just going to put those a bit closer together. I don't want them touching, but I just want them to be more in line with each other. Now I do want to size this, and this is going on an adult size shirt. So I'm going to do it about 9.5-ish. It doesn't have to be exact, but 9.5-ish is perfect. So with this is going to go on a black shirt. We're going to use some Siser puff in black. And this is only like 2 inches tall. So it's real small. And it's just going to look so fun against a black shirt. Now you want to make sure that you save your design. I'm going to call this pitch black puff. That way I know what I'm using this for. And I'm simply clicking save. Now with this, we're cutting this with HTV. The Cricut will mirror this automatically. So what I'm going to do is click make. I'm going to click continue, and it will connect to my Cricut. We're going to be using Siser puff for this. Now, this is one of those materials, like I tell you guys, that, you know, when you say HTV is shiny side down, it's actually wrong. This is our shiny side, and then you can see the side is really, really dull. With this one, it is actually the dull side that needs to go on the mat. So when you're thinking about putting HTV on your mat, I highly recommend that you start saying the words carrier sheet side down instead. And you can always just peel back a corner of your HTV to check which side is the carrier sheet. Now you will also notice that I'm placing this onto a strong grip mat. That mat side that is the carrier sheet is not real sticky. So for this, I do find it works much better if we use the strong grip mat to hold this. So I'm gonna get this cut out, we'll weed it, and then we're gonna press it to our shirt to make our kind of faux embroidery black on black shirt. Now the next thing we need to do is to line up our design onto our shirt. So I like to fold mine in half just a little bit, just so I can find where the center of my design is, and I just crease it up here at the top. Just give it a little fold. That just sort of helps me see where the center is versus the center of the shirt. Now you want to go about 3 fingers down from your collar, so that's about where I want to be. And then for this, I do recommend having some heat tape because the carrier sheet on this really is not particularly sticky. Now I will say, when I look up at the viewfinder on my camera that I can see, this looks like it's really skewed this way, but looking at it in person, it does not appear to be. But I do want to probably move it over just a little bit. I don't think it's fully centered. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a little piece of heat tape on this to hold this down so that I can pick up the shirt. A lot of times when I'm doing like a line of text, what I like to do is I'll hold the shirt up so that I can see it in front of me and see if that does in fact look straight. I just have a hard time sometimes seeing on the desk if it looks straight, because if I skew the shirt just a little bit, it can look really off, but I think honestly that it looks pretty darn straight from here. And keeping in mind that once it's on my body, it's probably not going to look perfectly straight there either. So it's totally fine. Now I'm going to add just 2 more pieces of tape. I just like to tape each corner just so that I make sure everything stays in place. And then one of my little tricks that I use, I fold my shirt up around my design to move it over to my heat press. That way nothing really moves. So I have this cute little envelope. So let's take this over to the heat press. This press is at 385 degrees, and we'll go over some more instructions at the heat press. So now over here at the heat press, I'll go ahead and unfold my design just so that it doesn't move. And then I want to make sure that it's fully on the heat press mat, which is going to help us get nice pressure. Now you do want to use a firm pressure with this, so I'm going to turn my pressure up a little bit, and you're going to press this. I do 285. It says 280. I have better luck at 285. You want to use a firm pressure for 8 to 10 seconds, and then you're going to peel this hot. Now this is supposed to be a one peel product, like a one press product, so hopefully we'll get a really good puff on this. I'm always a little bit nervous. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and pull that up, and then like I said, you want to peel your carrier sheet right away. Oh, that puffed so good. So I'm gonna go ahead, put this over on the table so that you guys can see what this looks like once I get this little piece of tape off, which doesn't want to come off. Sometimes they stick a little tight to the tape. And here is the finished shirt. Please ignore the pet hair on there. It's always going to be on black shirts in my house. But this is such a fun way to put a different spin on something that's trending if you don't have that equipment. I'm not going to go out and buy an embroidery machine because number one, I don't have space for it. Two, that's expensive. And three, that's a whole other thing that I would have to learn how to use. So I decided to go ahead and use some Puff HTV. Now, if you struggle with Puff, please let me know in the comments down below. I will try to guide you and help you, but I will say that Puff really does need good, even pressure and heat. I'm always happy to help you guys with any issues that you have, so just let me know in the comments if I can help you in any way. I hope you guys learned some fun tips and tricks from this video. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.